Good morning. Good morning. Good morning from the Hideway and also from the Bulloch County Historical Society. Today we're going to talk about a pot to pee in. Bill and I have what we believe to be the last outhouse standing in Bulloch County that was built by the CCC. Granddaddy Franklin paid to have it built to support the cause started by President Roosevelt. They had 2 bathrooms in their home at 317 Savannah Avenue. Both the Works Progress Administration and the Civilian Conservation Corps built 2.3 million outhouses across the country in the late 1930s to improve sanitation and public health, and mainly to put men to work. I'm sure many of you had an outhouse when you grew up, or at least you may have visited one at a family member's home that lived out in the country. The structure was quite simple in design. Each privy was identical in its design and its construction. They were built with a 4-foot by 5-foot wooden frame, a hanging roof with a 6-inch wide fascia board on all sides, square pots set at a 45-degree angle, and a ventilation chimney with a metal screen that vented polluted air outside and kept flies from coming inside. The one-hole outhouse was known as the Roosevelt Building. Some people used a corn cob to help with the job, hence the saying, rough as a corn cob. If you were fancy, you had 2 buckets of corn cobs. One would use a red corn cob on the initial wipe, then one would use a white corn cob to see if they needed another red corn cob. Corn cobs were plentiful and very efficient at cleaning. They were also softer on the tender areas than you might think. Using a cob was common practice until Sears began mailing catalogs. These handy items ended up serving in privies, both as reading material and fabulously comfortable fanny sanitizers. At some point, toilet paper was made because we all know that no job is complete till the paperwork is done. Actually, using wads of paper to clean up with began in China in the 6th century. The father of American toilet tissue is said to be J.C. Gaiety, and his Gaiety's medicated paper, which became available around the 1860s and were used until the 1920s. It wasn't until the 1930s that Northern Tissue started selling a splinter-free toilet paper. I am told that there was a small pile of powdered lime in the privy. The lime helped to keep the smell down and the flies away. This that I'm going to tell you is a myth, but it's a good one. Long ago, there were men and women outhouses. The men's outhouse had a cutout star, while the women's had a cutout moon. Men's outhouses were always a mess, and they were always dirty. People quit using them. So the only cutout we now see on outhouses is the crescent moon. Great story. Not so sure about it, but great story. No one wanted to go on a midnight hike to a dark outhouse and sit there warm behind on a cold wooden seat that couldn't be seen. So somebody came up with the bright idea of the chamber pot. This was a receptacle kept in the bedroom for nighttime use. I've heard it called the thunder bucket. This led to the origin of the phrase, so poor he ain't got a pot to pee in. A chamber pot is a container with a handle, usually used as a urinal at night. It is kept in a bedroom, under a bed, or on a nightstand. During Victorian times, some chamber pots were built into a cabinet with a closable cover. This piece of furniture was called a commode. Thank heavens for sliced bread and indoor plumbing. Thanks for sharing some time with me today. Bye.